Well, this looks interesting. On a post box. Oh, I never. Look at that. I think it's the local arts and crafts. Wow. Well, there you go. Well, here we are at the beautiful Ruislip Lido. And not many people know this, but actually it's fairly obvious from this view. But this end of the Lido is a dam. And the Lido was actually created as a reservoir to supply water to the Grand Union Canal. And there's a feeder and a pumping station that regulates the level in here and used to supply that water. I don't think it does anymore. And again, more obvious from down here that this end of the Lido and the dam section is actually man-made. I'm not sure if this was the entrance for pumping the water, but it was along here somewhere. So here we are, still at the dam end, and that's the boathouse up there. And I think that might have been the site of the original pumping station. Well, I'm now quite deep in the woods around Ruislip Lido. I've come to pay respect or homage to this place, which was the site of what is now called Battle of Britain House. I'll have to look up the original name. It was unfortunately burnt down not so long ago, but remained here, I think, at least until the 80s. And there were two like Chinese lions adorning the steps here, and a big house where operatives of SOE or a similar organisation, a Special Operations Executive, which was a covert operation training people for espionage and spying behind enemy territory during World War II. In fact, a lot of very brave people, men and women, trained here and did all sorts of fascinating but very, very dangerous operations in enemy territory, and lost their lives doing it, but I'm sure contributed to winning the war and our freedom today. And there we go, another piece of history of the Ruislip area. Right, back in the van after an interesting day exploring Ruislip. TV on, horror channel. It's Ultraviolet movie, I think. There's a bit of dinner cooking up on the old gas burner. Lovely. Well, actually frozen, so it's taken a while to thaw out, but that'd be nice with a nice cup of tea. So before I edit the videos from today, I'll look up the corrections that I might need, like for the original house name, for Battle of Britain House. I think that's Franklin House actually, and I think as well as SOE it's OSS, but I can't remember what that stands for, but it's got a very interesting history, so maybe I'll add some of that as well. Okay, right, browsing on the internet now for more information. This is battleofbritainhouse.org, which is a very informative site. First of all, you can see the house in its full glory there. Recognise the steps where I was earlier, and you can see the two Chinese lions at the top of them. It's a very good site with lots of background, the story of the house, some of the guys that were trained there, and some of the missions that they went on. So I'm sure you can find battleofbritainhouse.org on the internet. It's actually run by a guy who's got a Facebook group as well. So Evan Panagolopoulos, if I got the pronunciation right. So again, I think he talks about tours that he actually does, and I think he's producing an audio tour as well. I know he's had it marked on Google Maps. I think the idea is that you can either go on one of his tours or you could conduct it yourself with an audio tour. Anyway, the Wikipedia entry does confirm that it was also known as Franklin House, and apparently also as Cacao during its history, which was when it was purchased by a guy called Joseph Conn, and then also then later on by Mayor Franklin Klein, an American shipping magnate who toured the globe and brought lots of unusual articles back from the Far East, probably including those lions. An important, very important part that I didn't quite get earlier on when I was out by the Lido at the site was that the house was purchased and run by the United States to train agents for undercover operations. So I mentioned the SOE, which was our secret operations, also called the Baker Street Irregulars, I think. Some interesting stories from them, like a true story of the film. I think the name is the Man Who Never Lived, or something like that. But a very interesting way they used a body to plant incorrect information and deter the Germans from an invasion, give them sort of the wrong steer on what was going to happen. So Franklin House, or Battle of Britain House, was actually run by United States to train secret agents for covert operations as part of OSS. Yeah, so that's the Office of Strategic Services, and that was the forerunner of the CIA. So adds even more, I think, to the story. I mean, it's pretty amazing. If you go on battleofbritainhouse.org and read some of the operations that were carried out, they're pretty amazing anyway. But then also the organisation that was the forerunner of the CIA in America was actually operating from that house right next to Ruislip Lido. How amazing.